Yo, crypto nation and mining family, what's going on? What up, what up, what up? What's going on, all your happy hashers out there? I know it's been a hot minute since I have been on here live, outside of a YouTube short here and there. I do have some videos that I need to go through and post on here. I have been doing stuff on the sideline, right back here, I have my fuse box, and I have a full house meter that basically got a little app here. See if I can pull it up. I was thinking about doing this, and I was like, now I'm like, what the hell, why not? So I'm able to basically monitor. This is my Bitcoin miner pulling 3,647 watts. And as you can see right in front of my finger here is the power usage. It's basically flatline. It's very consistent, running between like 3,600 to 3,650. So kind of ranging in there, like a 50-watt range on this. This thing, pretty easy to install. As long as you're not afraid to be touching electrical panels and the wiring and stuff like that, you know what you're doing. It's not too scary of a thing. If you are nervous about working around electrical things and thinking that you're going to get zapped or whatever, yeah, I would say get an electrician to do it, or find somebody that you know is friend with that feels comfortable doing the same thing. It is easy. Anybody can basically do it. What's up, Sadie? What up, John Germain? We got a live stream. Fire. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So I will be uploading. Like I said, I'll probably be doing some video editing tomorrow since it's my day off. I'm going to be putting in a couple of job applications tomorrow. And then after that, I will be doing video editing, showing off getting this all up and going. Didn't want to back all the way out of it. But yeah, I've got every room, everything that is on a fuse is monitored in this house. So I now can calculate everything going on in the house, which is pretty cool, pretty damn cool. So right now the house is using like almost 13,000 watts. It's like, damn. But yeah, I mean, this thing is pretty accurate for what it's for everything that we're utilizing here. I can't complain really. So we're gonna keep on going at it like this, and doing some videos that I've been like kind of just recording in the background. I've got a cool one that'll be for the homesteading side of it too. It'll be pretty dope. It's pretty dope. It's about the chunkins. Yo. So without any further ado, let's crack into today's video. Don't forget to smash that lizardy like button, subscribe if you're new here, hit the bell notification, make sure it's turned on for all you OGs here. We know how YouTube is. Yo. So yeah, we're right here at one of my favorite trading apps. It's free, no shill here, you know. So I use a free variant too. So I'm not anything special on here. So Sadie Chunkins, yeah. So we got the S&P 500, been trading sideways. Same with the NASDAQ. With all this weird turmoil with war on multiple fronts, all the money printing, that usually negatively impacts most markets, especially if it's not going into the general population. Right now, all the money printing has been going into war efforts, which, you know, will affect Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, you know, the war machines. The money that's been getting printed helps them positively. Everybody else, it flatlines them, because war is not overly, it's not a positive thing for the economic side of it. That's why Bitcoin, a Bitcoin standard, or even hell, a gold standard, is something that the governments fear. It will stop them from money printing, which will stop them from having the ability to have a war, because war is expensive. That's money going out because the government produces zero value. It's not like they can sit there and say, hey, we produce these products personally through the government and we sell these services and goods to the world. No, 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 no. It's a money vacuum, and it goes into an incinerator and gets burned. Government is basically proof of stake. Just saying, right? Where the gold standard or Bitcoin, that's proof of work right there, right? Because it holds you accountable for the value that you actually have, not the value that you insist a piece of paper has. I mean, you can sit there and see it with like the bond market here. The 10-year treasury through the US is paying 4.6%. Where the hell are they coming up with 4.6%? How are they paying you 4.6% over 10 years? So you're loaning the government for 10 years, and they're going to pay you 4.6% interest rate back. How? That would insinuate that they're earning money. They produce nothing, and they tax you for the pleasure of them producing nothing and spending more than they take in. And it's not just isolated to the United States. I mean, don't get me wrong here. The European 10-year is paying 2.7% instead of 4.6. The UK 10-year is 4.3. Germany's 2.7. France is 3.3. Italy 4.8. Where the hell are these governments sitting there and actually producing value that would fund that? How? It has to be a Ponzi, right? That means buyers today buying in are in essence paying for that interest rate going out. There's no way that anybody can pay. None of these governments can pay 4.8%. They're broke. Marine officer Smedley Butler wrote, "War is a Racket." Great book. Probably written 100 years ago by now. I know, right? There are times that it just, like, the smartest minds said it so long ago, people forget. But yeah, war is just a racket. You're sending out troops that you're paying into another country. And what are they doing? They're spending money in another country. They're helping that economy out. And then it goes all into the war machine. These governments are broke. And it's like you cannot possibly tell me that any of these companies or any of these governments here on their 10-year debt notes could pay out 4.3%. If they had to pay 4.3%, they would be bankrupt tomorrow. They're not paying this. That's the problem. They're just printing more money and going, here you go, YOLO, right? So, this is the reason why they can afford war. It's like, because they can just print the money up. There's no holding them back. This is why they went so hard. Most of these governments went so hard to get rid of the gold standard or the metal standard, the Bretton Woods system, where it's just like a basket of metals, something, because it would have held them accountable for all the debt that's been drawn up in the last, let's say, 50 years. We have been the most egregious with all of this money printing, and Bitcoin and gold would solve this, but they're afraid of it. And then you get one little country, one small little speck of a country that goes, you know what? We're going to do it. And go to the Bitcoin standard. Now they're one of the most booming economies right now in the market. El Salvador. Believe it or not, El Salvador actually has gotten rid of income tax now because they're still doing so good. The more money that the people have, the more that they spend. The more that they spend, the more that the economy becomes prosperous. The more prosperous the economy is, the more innovation starts happening because people can pay for the innovation. More innovation starts happening, you start attracting more business, more talent, yeah, so on and so forth. You start having a booming economy. We don't see that here in the United States. And a lot of these places are trying to tax the ever-loving bejeebus out of us and still sit there and spend away. What was the difference between El Salvador and us? They got rid of the corrupt money because they were using US dollars. They got rid of the corrupt money. Went to Bitcoin. Just saying. So, I mean, we're going to be seeing more countries sitting there and doing a lot of the same things that, you know, this might be the strike off of World War III. Or you're going to have these governments realize that they can't afford this, and if they continue to go down this route, it's going to be a bloodbath for their citizens, or their citizens are going to revolt. So, very treacherous times, I believe, and I think the quicker the people start figuring out where their lifeboats really are, which is going to be gold, silver, and Bitcoin. I don't care which one you guys choose. Make sure you got a lifeboat. Not saying that there's a necessity for a lifeboat, but you don't go on the open sea without one. Just saying, you want to have a lifeboat. Sounds like El Salvador needs a little more democracy. U.S. military. Yeah, right. Don't worry, the ECB is angry at El Salvador. Don't worry. International money is not happy with the decision that El Salvador has taken. But they're actually doing way better than all these other countries. And they're not worrying about, bankers' wars. Because that's what a lot of this stuff is. It's banker wars. Follow the money. It all circulates around the banks. Banks fund it all. Banks around both sides of the of war, on the losing side and on the winning side. They bet on both sides, and no matter what, the banks always win. Just saying. No, Wheeling, I do not. I don't play with Chat GPT like that to be able to sit there and utilize them for coding. Sorry, my dude. So I mean, we're going to be seeing more of that. Like I'm having my suspicion that with the way that the government is doing their little hot shots going on, I think we're going to be seeing those bonds yields to slowly go up. I mean, you guys all know my favorite little website here, usdebtclock.org. We're going to be, I'm wondering if we'll hit $34 trillion before the end of the year, which means that we've put on almost $3 trillion in 1 year into the debt that wasn't never voted upon. I'm just saying, none of this was voted upon. This is just ruthless spending in the most egregious way. So we're going to be seeing this just kind of go way out of control. I don't see any of these politicians trying to slow this down in the slightest bit. Like, I don't know how to get rid of that out of my way. Reopens tonight. Oh, they're refreshing this. They've been refreshing a lot of this stuff. The money creation that we are doing now is just rampant, guys. It's like, oh my God. Most egregious. Most egregious. But like I said, who's got 34 trillion by the end of the year? I got $1 on it. I'm just saying, I got $1 on it. And then overall, the crypto market itself, I've been working too much. I actually haven't been paying too much attention to a lot of this stuff. I've been just kind of setting stuff up and just kind of going, oh wow, oh wow, wow. Prices have just been trading out sideways. It's like Sadie. It's like hard bet to go against it. It's like Wheeling Crypto is like, I got 5 on it. And isn't that like a song or something? What up, Jason? Saga Osborne. He's like, what's your expectations for the next bull run? I think the next bull run we should see a stabilization of around a $40,000 to $50,000 Bitcoin for the next bull run cycle. I think the next peak on the cycle will hit probably around that $90,000 mark per Bitcoin. Will be at your peak, but I think it'll stabilize in right around that $40,000 to $50,000 mark. That's my expectations. I think I'm being realistic on that. But I mean, like overall, the market's kind of been just trading absolutely sideways. No Wheeling's like next bull run. I'm looking to make 100,000% profitability. You have to pick some obscure coin that rockets off like that, and you got to have like $1,000 on it. Then you do pretty decent. And then you've got to be able to take that and then trade it into Bitcoin so that you secure your profits on there in one swoop. I tell people all the time, good luck. Not saying that it doesn't happen, but the odds of that happening is the same as hitting the lottery. Got a question. What do you need to mine AutoCrypt? It's like a 1% probability is good. Yeah, but gambling doesn't have a 1% probability on this. It does not have a 1% probability. It has a you'd be like 0.0000000000000001%. You know, your odds are astronomically low. Like every bull run for every shitcoin that's out there, it's a very low probability that them particular coins will jump up with you having enough in there to make it worth it. You know, if you got $5 and it jumps up 100,000%, you know, you're looking at like a $500. You know, for $5 you're gonna have $500. You know, give or take. You know, it's like it's nice. It's cool to see. I'm not gonna diminish the you know when it happens from time to time. I've had a few coins that I cashed in on and I did very well on them. But it was like you're not sitting there putting in $5,000-$6,000 sitting back and then pop and you're like, oh, there we go, got it, you know, got my $1 million. Let's see here, is it like capturing too high on it or something? Let's see here. Now I got it pretty low. I mean, it's not, well, maybe on the like really, really high side. Maybe I could turn it down just a little bit here. But you're also hearing my Bitcoin ASIC too. So I'm thinking you guys are hearing some of the my What's Miner M30 plus plus in the background. And Sadie says, "Hi, Mrs. Nem." So I'm thinking that's what you might be hearing. Wheeling is ASIC fans in the background. Because, yes, I am mining that sweet, sweet Busy Bitcoin. Oh! But Odo Crypt. I'm not familiar with Odo Crypt. Oh, Odo Crypt. Oh, okay. That's Dash. Ow! You need a Dash miner for that, bro. Let's see here. Not what I want. Not what I want. Not what I want. Let's see here. So you're gonna want like an in a silicon A5 Dashmaster. So yeah, so I mean you probably want to get into the AS silicons. They've been out since like 2017, 2018. So you got the A5 and the A5 Plus. 32.5 gigahash to 65 gigahash for 750 watt to 1500 watts on the X11 Algo, aka Odo Crypt. That's why I didn't recognize it off the bat, because I'm used to seeing it being portrayed as X11. So that is ASIC. I mean, you can mine it on GPU, but yeah, ASICs are already on there, and you're not competing with them. So yeah, you're just gonna look for X11 miners, and try to get the newest hardware for it to make it the most, so you're getting the most efficient stuff. That's pretty much all you're really doing. Talking about most efficient stuff, guys, getting into some mining stuff here. Bam. So if you are mining Dynex and ZIL, especially if you are mining Dynex and ZIL, if you are using the SRB miner multi 2.3.7, you want to get onto your miners and update them to the latest one, 2.3.8. This is a mandatory upgrade for it. You have diminishing hash rate on Dynex, and you are getting errors. Your hash rate performance goes down about 5%. The RTX 3080's performance actually goes slightly up with about 2%, and the 3090s go down for about 1%. So if you upgrade to the new miner of Dynex, depending on your GPU, you might get mixed results in the change in hash rates after the upgrade. But if you are using 2.3.7, you definitely want to upgrade ASAP. You are burning cash in the most it's like in a market that is not in a bull run, so we want to make sure that we are as efficient as possible. So make sure that you are staying on top of this stuff. If it doesn't just auto update for you. I turned down the gain on my microphone just a pinch, so I'm trying to have it where it doesn't pick it up so hard. And I've got the room's cooling down in there too, so the fan's not wailing as hard all the time. So anywho. If you guys have 3080s, be careful if you start having some hot spots on your card randomly, guys. So the vapor chamber with a hole develops blue substance inside. Can we say a corrosion? That looks like copper corrosion breakdown in the metal. So, yeah. It seems like certain RTX 3080 founders and A6000 graphics cards may be susceptible to problems related to the vapor chamber cracking. So the initial thread on this was initiated by a member, likely a technician, who was assigned a task of investigating the root cause behind excessively high hotspot temperatures exhibited by these cards. Importantly, these graphic cards have not been previously opened or subjected to repasting, as confirmed by the original author of the thread. However, it was swiftly determined there was a breach in the vapor chamber. This breach resulted from a chemical reaction that gradually created a hole in the vapor chamber. Because of this, fluid leaked out of the chamber and oxygen got into the void. It's copper, guys. I'm not sure what kind of a chemical they would have put into it other than these vapor chambers that they're putting in there, they really have like a small droplet of water in there. It's not like this huge amount of water. So either there was a chemical that they used in the water to make it to where it wouldn't, like the corrosion inhibitors, and something was a little bit more acidic and ate through, maybe. Otherwise, you're looking at, they had contaminants in there, which then they need to be doing a recall if that's the case. Of anybody who got those particular batches. They should be able to tell which batches got this, and do a full recall on them so that they can just replace the coolers on them and ship them back to the owners with new coolers on there. That's a simple, easy fix to own up to. Either way, I think that if it's rotting out from the inside out, this is a manufacturer defect that needs to be addressed by NVIDIA. So that's just my opinion on this. I think NVIDIA should go, stand behind their product, and say, hey, look, the stuff should not be exhibiting signs of what looks like to be corrosion from the inside. These cards should not be failing in this way because it's non-serviceable. And if they're doing this, then they've got a quality control issue that they need to address. Now, would mining make this better or worse? It'd be going through much more heat cycles on there. I think it would speed up the process because corrosion is almost like a metal mold. It spreads very rapidly across surfaces. So if there was already copper corrosion present during the manufacturing, and then they lock it in there, it would have just sped it up during the heat cycling process on there of it getting wet, drying off, getting wet, drying off. So, it's like, and they're having one of their engineers look at it, so they know it's a significant issue, and it's not happening on one here and there very rarely. They're probably seeing it across a much larger number, and they're not completely going to sit there and say how much is being reported being affected by this. So we'll have to see how this one comes about going forward. You know that NVIDIA will try to bury any kind of bad publicity. Most companies do. But hopefully they just do a nice quiet little recall on it. I'd be happy with that, and let them just, take care of the customers the right way. That's it, right? Uh, if any of you guys are using this, I mean, I wouldn't, but if you are, I'd love to know if it, how well does it mine. But they've got that GeForce Now. Gets a price hike in several countries. This is for people who can't afford to build a full-out PC, so you can rent a GPU, and you're basically logging into a server and gaming through there. So you really don't get much control over it, but you do get some benefits of, you don't have to have as hardcore of a GPU. You can play new stuff. I guess it works. It's nothing that I would really get involved with myself. I don't believe in this stuff. You get game latency. I mean, if you're not a hardcore gamer, you just want to have a nice casual kickback game and have some fun, sure, I guess, if you don't have the money for it. But $70 Canadian, $14 a month, or $70 every 6 months. So you're like $140 Canadian a month every year just to have a GPU to be able to game on. I would sit there and just save up for money, and you can get yourself for that kind of money. You're almost buying a new Intel GPU. I'm just saying, you can get yourself an ARC A770 with 16 gigabytes of VRAM. Drops to a price of basically $260. If you can afford $140 a year, you can sit there and do a little more hustling, help a few old ladies across across the road for a tip, and you'll be able to afford a $260 GPU, brand new, right here, right? And it's Intel. Who cares? When you can sit there and actually buy this thing and own it, and you're not paying somebody else to buy a GPU and rent it to you at a ridiculously upcharged price. I'm just trying to save you guys money if you're doing this stuff. I'm just saying. This is the math behind it. And then you can mine on this card too. Jason the Tiger Osborne, make GPU mining great again. I'm sorry, there's no way I can help out with that one. None of these shitcoin devs want to build anything that's worth a damn. And a lot of the GPU miners are now a little gun shy about supporting any company that's trying to, we're going to be the next Ethereum. It's like, yeah, we've heard that one before. Not going to happen, right? And then talking about some more GPUs here. Now, if you guys are looking to do a clean build, guys, and I mean a clean build, I got one for you guys, and it should mine pretty decently too. The Galix 4090 20th Anniversary Edition. I heard about them doing a 20th Anniversary Edition, and I was kind of waiting for it, going, I wonder how are they going to build something weird, or are they just going to build something nice and clean, high performance? Bam! You get something both. 4090, so you know it's going to have some good performance. It's not the Hall of Fame edition, so it's not going to be a bin chip, but it's still going to be a good one. It's Galix. They don't produce bottom tier stuff. They've got like mid tier and then high tier. That's it. But what I do like on this one, considering this is the top of the GPU, I have a little cutout opening here on the left side, and that would probably be for your standard and performance mode switch. But you don't see any plugs. There is no visible power plug on the top of this card. Granted, I understand it's a rendering. But damn, dude. This thing, I don't see anything. And I like how understated the LED glow on this is. It's not too much. It's just nice and subtle. Just kind of accented. It's like a little splash color here and there. If they do something like this and they make it full RGB, that'll be cool. Especially if I can have addressable RGB on this thing, plug it into the motherboard, and have my have it theme out with the whole motherboard. I love that stuff. Because then you can also turn it on, turn it off. Sometimes you just don't want to waste the power on LEDs. Because, guys, my computer right now has like 150 watts worth of LEDs if it all turns on. That's ridiculous. So, best to have it off if you're mining. But what I like about it is that you're not having a ridiculous cable that's peekabooing straight up off of the card, and then either has to bend back and get back to the motherboard area because it's got to go through the chassis, or if it's in a mining rig, it's coming straight up, looping. You're trying to get it to cleanly bend over without putting too much of a kink in it, and get it to lay across the back of the card so it just waterfalls down on a mining rig. To where I'm thinking that what they did with this is underneath this, there's like a little cover right here, it looks like. Right? And this little, right below this back fan, it looks like this is a removable cover. And in here, they should have that 16 that 12 volt V2 power connector should be underneath this cover, and you should be able to just loop it straight down to the back of the chassis, or drape it straight down to go to the power supply if it's on a mining rig. Guys, we need to tell all the manufacturers this is how you do plug adapter, a plug arrangement, because it's nice and hidden, it looks nicer, all this good stuff. I like the one, they came out with a board that has the power connector going into the bottom of it. And that would be really cool if they sit there and they start utilizing it, where they hide the connector underneath this cover, and you can either have a wire that comes back out the backside, or you put in this little 90-degree adapter into it, and it plugs directly into the motherboard. Bro, game changer, right? Absolute game changer, because there's one motherboard out there that has the connector on the board right now, and it looks like it should be able to plug in with the GPU. But man, this thing looks so clean though, and being Galax, you know it's going to have good airflow through this. It should have good performance. It's going to give you your standard 4090, maybe a little above a 4090. So this might be in the tier of like the Asus ROG Strix territory. If so, awesome, right? Should have good mining performance on there. If you're looking to make an all-white build, hopefully with the rendering on here, what it looks like, it looks like the PCB has it's not white though. Galax is known for doing the white PCBs. It's hard to tell in this rendering. It's like looking down in the performance switch cutout. It could be a white PCB. If it is, bro, baller. That's one thing that they do with the Hall of Fame edition, is that it's on a white PCB. So, fingers crossed, right? But can it play Crysis? I bet you it can play 2 different Crysis running at the same time. Bet you it could. Let's see here. And then for anybody that's into the Intel chip side of it, and China confirms 14th Gen Core announcement for tomorrow. The Core series, the 14th Gen Core series was mysteriously absent from its highly anticipated Innovation 2023 event, a cornerstone of the company's annual presentations. Nonetheless, after the official keynote, a reference was made to an up-and-coming refresh of the Raptor Lake series. Although it hardly served as a substantial teaser or something for consumers to eagerly anticipate, Intel's global social media accounts currently remain silent. However, Intel China, which operates a specialized channel known as Intel Core Products, has posted a whole teaser on Weibo. Its teaser cleverly hints at something related to Core 14 is on the horizon, and it's one day away. Dun dun dun! So, for all you guys that are looking for new Intel stuff, it looks like this is going to be coming out here. The leak indicates that the laptop manufacturers are poised to transition to the latest 14th gen Core HX series. This leak originates from Momo, US, known for actively scouting for leaks and on other retailer websites. If this turns out to be accurate in this instance, it implements that a wave of new laptops will be hitting the market in the near future. So there you guys go. You guys are looking for good laptops, good performance. There you go. We got new stuff coming out. Will it mine? Of course. Do I recommend it? No. I'm sorry, but laptops are just not designed to be mined on. You can always test out on them for a little bit, put a stress test on them for a moment, but to leave them under that stress load, I wouldn't. Batteries aren't designed for that demand, and neither are the chargers. So you're looking at one, if not both, failing at some point in time, and not saying that it's going to be catastrophic. You just kind of playing Russian roulette. If the battery decides to pop and explode, it does happen, and those lithium batteries create fires when they do that, because it's like a little flamethrower coming out of the bottom of the computer. So be careful with that, guys. I'm just saying. What's up, Dakota Miner? Evening, all y'all. For sure. So, but yeah, if you guys are looking for new laptops, we're gonna have some. We all knew it was gonna happen. They're gonna have something coming out before Christmas. We got to have our Black Friday deals coming out here, so we're gonna have something new for Christmas. So if you guys are like utilizing Intel laptops for any kind of work that you were doing, and you're looking for a new one, just kind of wait. There's always new stuff going to be coming out right beforehand. And some new stuff that I, it's like, you guys know that I love my small form factor builds. I love doing like little stuff with them, right? Here's a new one. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it, just because it's for Veriscoin. I could really care less about Veriscoin. It's not something that it's not a project that I believe in, but I like the idea that they're giving an Orange Pi 5 some usability, a use case. So you can get yourself an Orange Pi 5 and a little cooler setup on there, and you can sit there and run a little miner on there. Now, these things do not take a whole lot. You're talking 5 volts, 10 watts. You're talking like a penny or two a day of power being utilized on this. So if you're a believer in that Veriscoin, this might be something that you'd like to set up. A full ARM-based system. You can put it anywhere in the house. It doesn't need a big airflow in there. These any kind of these Pi, Raspberry Pi, Orange Pi, Rock Pis, they're pretty tolerant to heat. I wouldn't put them into direct sunlight or put them on the backside of a Bitcoin miner. With that being stated, they are very much heat and cold tolerant. So if you guys are wanting to check this out for 10 watts on the high side, it's not that bad of a little score here if you are wanting to support Veriscoin, as I was saying, right? Neat little thing. I don't have an Orange Pi 5. If I had one already, I might consider doing this. If I was going to do anything, I'm going to get myself the Raspberry Pi 5 before I would try to get the Orange Pi 5. Just saying. I'm just going to be honest with that one. I would look at trying to do that first, and then doing some experimentation with, can I hook up a few GPUs to it? I mean, it's got PCIe. Can it mine? How well can it mine now? So we can do some experimentation on that, fellas. Not right now. I mean, like I gotta now find, I'm gonna be looking for a new job and everything like that. So that's why I haven't been doing too much videos and stuff like that. My job has been just absolutely stressing me out, and yeah, there's been a few things. The straw that broke the camel's back was they don't want to pay me unless the customer pays them first. Yeah, I don't even care what their excuse is behind it. I'm not going to support a company that thinks so highly of their employees that they don't want to pay them until they get paid. I'll find another job. So a lot of little different stresses over at that place, but yeah, it'll come to an end. I put my 2-week notice in. I did everything right. Right, babe?
Yep. And he called me first to make sure it's
Yeah, I got permission from the boss before I even put my 2-week notice in. I'm a good hubby. So yeah, I mean, so if you guys are looking for a little Veriscoin project, here you go. Once I get a Raspberry Pi 5, if you can do it on an Orange Pi, you can do it on a Raspberry Pi, and it's the same. So I'll be able to sit there and even test it out onto a Raspberry Pi 5, see how it runs on there. Bada bing, bada boom, right? Because the Raspberry Pi 5 should be coming out here soon. Oh yeah, Sadie, it's all good. It is all good. I mean, there's mechanic shops out there that's how they pay. And whenever I started with the company, that's not what the rules were. I don't believe in changing the rules midway through working for somebody just because they want to be cheap. That's what Ethereum did to the mining community. Just saying. But anywho, I'll find something new. Ain't no problem. Varus on a Pi 5? Question mark. Yeah, the Raspberry Pi 5 will be coming out here soon, right? Let me see here. Let's see here. The official website. Let's see here. That's the Pi 4. Yes. The Raspberry Pi 5. Let's see here. I'm like pulling it up really fast here. So right now it is a pre-order only. Like I said, it isn't officially out. Hold on here. Release date. Sometime this month. That's all I know. $80 for the big one, yeah. For so they'll have 8 gig and 4 gig variant, and that'll be your only two options. Like Central Compute, also a pre-order. Yep, they're all pre-orders right now. Because it's like, and there's no real official release date of it. So I'm not sure exactly when it's gonna be out. But as soon as it is, you know my butt will be getting me one of them. Because like I get them from my stuff from Canakit, and here, oh, wrong number. And it doesn't look like Canakit is even listing the Raspberry Pi, the RPi 5, even as of yet. So let's see here. Oh, here we go. Found it. Bam. So Canakit, this is where I usually grab my my small form factors from these fellas over here. I'm not a shill of theirs or anything like that, but $80 for the 8 gigabyte. Just the board itself. You'll still need power and a housing for it. But what's nice about it is it will have PCIe lane in there. So you could put M.2 onto it, or you could put a buy one adapter, plug in a UBIC 4-way splitter on there, and hash out 4 GPUs on this bad boy. So everything is pre-order, coming soon. There is no official day that they're like saying that it's coming out with. So, you know, we're all waiting. Sometime this month. Hashtag soon, right? Hashtag bloody soon. So does anybody have any other comments or questions for me before I head up out of here? Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you all for smashing them Lizardy like buttons and subscribing, hitting the bell notification, all that good stuff. Y'all rock. Get a turning motherboard and put 4 RPi 5 compute modules on it. Yeah, I absolutely love that one. Sadie's like, stay FA. Heck yeah, man. Everybody drop those FAs in the Chizity chat, guys. Drop those FAs in the chat. Because you guys are rated F for frickin' awesome. Yo. Oh, yeah. So thank you, everybody, for being here. All that good stuff. It's like, thanks for the show. Yeah. You know, just kind of get out some of that knowledge, getting out what I usually go over, all that good stuff. And like I said, I'll have some videos coming. I'll have a video coming up of me putting in a household meter. So everything in every room, every circuit is accounted for. I set up 15 different circuits onto my Emporia wattage meter. It monitors everything coming into the house. It monitors everything leaving the house. So, I mean, yeah, it's got everything I need on there. It was a pretty cool build. Had a small little issue with it at first, figured it out, and it's been going great ever since. So awesome stuff, right? So thank you everybody for being here. If you could, remember, when you're getting off this video, click on one of the YouTube suggested videos. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. I'm just saying, you don't have to, but I'd be most appreciated if you did. So with that being said, thank you. Everything's like Nemesis' new job is mining and visiting a Bitcoin. It's always been my job. I haven't stopped that job, not at all. So thank you everybody for being here. Peace out. Stay savage. May your watts be low and your hash be high. And I'll see you on the next one.